This is The Grind. Welcome to the Dogon podcast.
Yes.
This is going to be a good episode.
It's going to be a great one.
This is where we talk about the real aspect of starting and growing and running your own business.
Yeah.
It's a grind.
It's not easy.
No, not at all.
A whole lot of hoopla.
Whole lot of hoopla. Yeah, it's really, I think what most people don't realize is the hardest part about owning your own business, and we touched on this a couple past episodes, but is self-management.
Yeah.
You know, like you underestimate how much a boss motivates you from like getting in trouble or,
Yeah.
you know, just communicating what needs to be done, you know, and when you're the boss of yourself,
It's not as easy. You can't make yourself do the same things.
yeah. And it's so easy for you to like make these excuses and reasons and tell yourself this story in your head. Like I do it all the time, and I'll notice that I'm, you know, like, oh, well, I'll work on this right now instead. I think I'd rather do, and it's like, no, your goal for today was to get this done, but you don't want to do that. So now you're wasting time by doing something else. It's still good to do, but it's like, you got to be able to have your focus shift where you need to have it. You can't just like willy-nilly be like, oh, I feel like doing this.
Yeah.
You know, it's definitely something that takes effort.
It's not easy to get yourself to do what you're supposed to do, but I don't know.
Yeah.
You got to work on it, get different things to help it, raise your energy.
Try different approaches. Like, you know, like if, you know, we use Google Workspace. And if you're starting your own business, I definitely recommend a lot of these sites and stuff, they will push you towards a workspace where you can have like an email address that is tied to your domain.
Yeah.
That's important. It gives, you know, a very professional look to you and your company. And it's something that's really easy and cheap to do. And it's something I've always done. It really kind of helps establish that the business is operating, you know, and it's good to go. And you know, for us, we use the task function in there as well. And we even use the chat function in the Google Workspace. Sometimes more than texting, it's almost easier to keep track of it in the thread. You know, it's kind of interesting how it does it too. It'll pull out like separate things that you're talking about, but it's still all in one like long communication.
Right.
You know? But yeah, so finding the right tools to kind of, and also having the right perspective. Like it's better to write one thing down on a to-do list and do that thing than make a list of like 20 things and then be overwhelmed.
Yeah, I don't know. You just gotta really dedicate to it. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's no like secret formula or like thing that you can do or, you know, hand motion that's going to make you do something, you know what I mean? It's like you just have to eat that frog, as that one book talks about, where you have to just take action and do it, you know?
True.
And sometimes it's better to start small, and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to get everything, I'm going to get all the paperwork spread out that I need to do for this manufacturer in order for me to get this, you know, certified organic, or in order for me to get this, you know, wild grown certification in Brazil. You know, I'm going to get all that paperwork laid out. I'm not going to fill it all out and do all of it, but I'll start the first page. And then more times than none, you find yourself after the first page continuing, going a little bit further. And you may not get it all done. You know, you may give up halfway through because you don't understand 90% of the application, because it's in mostly in a different language except for a few basic words. But yeah, I mean, it's something that once I got it started, I was able to continue and finish, because it was like it wasn't as difficult. It was like it was already rolling. Yeah,
you just gotta get the ball rolling. Basically, you gotta get yourself to start something, and that's really the hardest part.
Yeah. What do you do motivation wise? Like, I know you're always in the editing room, like, you know, just like doing your thing. How do you get the motivation to like jump into that when you know it's like, okay, this is going to be a bit of a road for me to get this done. This is going to be a bit, and then I still got to go to this platform, and then I got to do this, and then I got to go to this platform, then I got to adjust all those, and then I got to go here, and then I got to schedule. It's like, how do you get yourself to see that end result when you're getting started with, you know, a raw video like what we got right now?
It's pretty simple. I just get started on it, and then I'm like, well, I'm not going to just leave it here, and I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Like whenever I start something, I finish it usually.
Yeah.
Like I just can't like do a little bit, because then whenever I come back to it, it's like, I don't know what the hell I was doing. I just want to restart now.
Yeah. So. Yeah. And Tristan's personality type, not to like put him in a box, but one of his main personality traits is S-type personality, which is like soft, supportive, sweet. But another word that they are known for is steady. And if they do start something, they finish. Like if you have an S personality who's like, hey, I'll help you build this house, they'll be there till the last nail, to the last piece of carpets in. I mean, they will literally help you until the end, as they said that they would. But they also won't jump into a lot of things or even do a lot of different things because of that nature of they have to finish it. So they get worried about like overextending themselves and then not being able to do it. So when they say yes, they will finish it, but they sometimes hold themselves back from saying yes. But the last thing I want to say about S's is they are literally what hold our world together, like S personality. So that's one of your main traits. It's, definitely powerful.
Pretty cool.
Yeah. So once like all you got to do is start it, that gives you a different angle or approach with other things.
Yeah. I mean, that's something I've been coming to the conclusion of with a lot of different things, is literally just starting things is the hardest thing for me.
Right. But I think with your personality type, starting something isn't just like my personality. I can start something and never finish it, never even think about it again, forget that I ever started it. Like
I'm super like, I don't know, the way I am is I'm like super meticulous with like everything I do. So it really drains me whenever I'm doing something, because I really do put like my whole focus into most of my things. But sometimes I'll slack, sometimes I won't do as much work as I want to. But I don't know, it just comes down to energy at that point.
Yeah. I mean, it's interesting to me because, like I said, with an I-type personality, it's one of my predominant traits. I can literally give somebody my word that I'm going to take care of something and do it for them, and I'll start it and we'll be working on it. And then 2 weeks later, they'll be like, hey, did you get that? And I'll be like, what? What do you mean? What are you talking? Like, I won't even remember sometimes. And then they'll remind me. I'll be like, oh yeah, and it's just because I am so attention deficit shiny thing disorder that it's like, I can go from one thing to the next rapidly. And it's because a lot of times I've learned in the past when I've worked with people, a lot of people talk about what they want to do and what they think they want to do, but they don't actually like follow through and do it.
Right.
Because me, I mean, if you're like, hey, I want to start this type of business, I'll be like, okay, here, and I'll like make a whole plan and I'll get like a, procedure of how we're going to do it. Like,
right.
I kind of, but I've done that so many times for people, and then they're like, oh yeah, I don't think I'd ever really do that. And I'm like,
what the hell?
Okay, well, so I've learned in that way to kind of like, I give excitement and attention when other interested parties are excited and interested.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sometimes it's hard for me to work with personalities that don't show excitement or that aren't like overly active involved, because my personality, I look at that as like, you don't care. Like, you don't care at all, And I know because of, the class I've taken that's not the case, but it's still hard for me to get past that.
No, I get it. And I don't know, it's just
different people.
I
love it.
People are different people.
Yeah. And, and I kind of want to be like, just for, he's doing a lot of editing of like little bits and stuff. So
I'm just trying to get all the dead space and trying to, I don't know, clean it up a little bit so it's easier to listen to, I guess.
Yeah, and so part of me wants to just like put a bunch of ums and huhs and just, but I know he'd just leave it and that would turn into a clip of I'll just be like if yeah. That's gonna be awesome. That'll be one. But yeah, so we're just we're dialing in and going through and navigating, and there's certain aspects of my personality that I'm looking at. How can I adjust to interact better with Tristan's? There's certain parts of Tristan's personality is like, how can I adjust to interact better with Alex's? And the key is that we keep that dialogue open, and we practice radical honesty, and we have enough trust and respect that we can literally say whatever the fuck we want to each other. Yeah. Like, he can be like, Alex, shut the fuck up. You're talking too much. I didn't talk to him.
I don't talk like that, but
yeah, he doesn't. But yeah, he'll be like, hey, I was just thinking kind of maybe, and I'll be like, hey, motherfucker. Yeah. I am a little harsh. I am a little intense, but it's because, if I don't care about you, I just smile and like, oh yeah, wonderful. Yeah, this is great. Cool. And I just let it go. But if I actually give a shit, that's when I don't hold anything back. I just say it how I feel it. And a lot of times I'll say it, I'm like, well, that's not really right. Well, and I'll be like, I got to get back to you on what I really think about that, because I'm like, that doesn't jive. But,
yeah.
But yeah, so once you start, you finish it. And do you get like a certain amount of satisfaction? Like, when do you think you're finished with the editing? Like, once you watch it and it looks good, do you think like, oh, that's awesome? Or are you like, okay, now I got to get it to the world? Like, where is your end?
Well, really, it's just upload or get the SD card, put it in the computer, put everything into my drive that I have, and then I will rename everything so it's all organized and I can actually understand what I'm looking at.
I was so bad at that at my last podcast. I would have to like watch the first few seconds of it to know what it was.
Sometimes it's hard because the GoPro won't put them in order for some reason. I don't know why, but sometimes I'll upload the wrong video to like the wrong name, and then I'll be like, oh, I just have to do all this over again.
I'll tell you a trick about that, because I used to be like, why is it out of order? If it's over like 8 or 9 minutes, or if it's over a certain cut, I think the 11 now it's like 18 minutes or something, but it'll have the same last two numbers on the file name, but it puts the end clips of the episode at the end of the list, so it'll still be in order. It'll just be like, it's because it's 2 that number, and then but yeah, I used to be like, why do you do that, GoPro? And then I saw the numbers and I was like, well, that makes sense, but that's still stupid. And a lot of the time it's not really in chronological order, and it doesn't matter which episode number it is, but I don't know, it just makes it easier to name them out, and then I'll go and put the outro on. Now I'm going through and getting all the dead space out, and I was thinking about doing an intro, but I don't know, messing around with it. We'll see if it works, but then I'll go through, make the thumbnail, grab a couple poses of whatever we're doing, like whatever it is. Should we do a bunch like that? Like, be like,
we could, I mean,
you're gonna take all these? That's so funny.
And it makes it easier. But
Actually, so we'll just if you guys ever see us do weird stuff, that's what we're doing. We're just
I like this one, the one where I'm holding the mic for some reason.
Really? Yeah.
But it just looks better. But I don't know, that's what I do, and then I'll put it on YouTube, and I don't know, I go through the whole process before I don't know, like whenever I start it, I will finish it, no matter what.
Once it's like uploaded and labeled and all that, and like scheduled or whatever, then you feel like you're done. Yeah I used to like I would get that that satisfaction when I got it up onto Spotify, really, because Spotify is like such a pain to upload to, but like that was always like, but when I got it to YouTube and it was on multiple other platforms that Spotify didn't hit, that's when I was like, wow, like, man, this is like reaching, this is getting
like
out
YouTube
there,
because it actually performs.
They're honest about like, if we get great watch time and if we get good amount of engagement, they promote it. Right. TikTok, we get 100% watch time, we get a higher like ratio to views, and they still stop it at 200 something. Or flag it.
We just get flagged all the time for no reason.
Yeah, today I was in live getting flagged nonstop, and it's like, I'm not saying anything crazy. People thought I was drinking baby goldfish.
That was pretty funny.
That was funny. I was hoping that it was like drinking live animals or something. I would have been like, all right, I'll leave that, but it wasn't. It was saffron in my water, but yeah, that's funny as hell. But yeah, that's awesome. And I know that my real satisfaction came though when a video performed. Yeah. Like we had one the other day that's like climbing towards 10K now of views, and the watch time on it's phenomenal. Click-through rate probably has something to do with.
Cool. I don't know why that one out of nowhere blew up. It was only like 13 seconds, but
13 seconds of fame, baby. There it is. Hey, and see, a lot of times you don't know what's going to work, and you don't know how it's going to all play out down the road, and what you think is going to be the best way or awesome is like not at all. And the one that you're like, this is stupid, but I might as well just throw it up there. That's the one that does it. Yeah. So you kind of understand that with your approach when you're trying to get yourself to like actually do things and to like edit videos and to like understand that maybe you might try this certain way of doing things and it might not work for you. And if you're not getting good results or you're not doing what you need to do or want to do, don't beat yourself up. Just be like, okay, maybe I can change my approach. Maybe I can try this way, or maybe do it at this time of the day, or maybe and that kind of stuff makes a difference. But this goes back to just one last thing: is you don't know what you need to change or how to make those changes if you don't record this kind of stuff. Yeah. That's why journaling is like so important. It really helps you record
and you can
what
see
you do.
The progress of what we've been doing, and like if you just go on the TikTok, even like go to the bottom ones, and they look like shit. I mean, we were saying some good stuff, I'd say, in the first ones, but
I agree.
it kind of like, I don't know, we kind of ran out of things to talk about, so it was like kind of shitty, and then it was like, oh, we know what we're doing now, so it was like a lot better.
Yeah, we're trying to, we're using the metrics and the response that we're getting out there to dial in where and how we're going to do these shows and how we're going to do this content. And you guys really seem to like us just kind of, BSing with you, telling you what's going on, and talking a little bit about our own struggles. You know, that seems to be the best, and we're down with that because we like doing these episodes where we talk about the different ingredients and our different products and what we're doing. But I mean, that kind of stuff is so secondary, and we can put that in like little 5-6 second blurps. That's all we need to say about it.
Yeah,
like Dogon Well Pack is going to be our next product. It's got rhodiola, black seed oil in it, and echinacea.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about that one.
If you're sick, it'll make you well. Ask your doctor before you take it. Boom, that's it. So like, that's all we're going to be doing product wise, and everything else, it's like, okay, getting in touch with the manufacturer and getting the, making sure that you have your paperwork uploaded for tax exemption. And it's like, there's a lot of other stuff that we can talk about that maybe we can foreshadow for you if you're trying to do this, or if you're just curious, like how we got to where we are.
Right.
But yeah, it all started with us getting started, and that's really, to me, the biggest battle. Like Tristan said, that's the hardest thing, is to actually get started and get going. But if you hold yourself accountable, and if you can be more like Tristan, where once you start something, you finish it, then you're going to be able to really transform yourself. And you just can't beat yourself up along the way, because that progress may not be as fast and as flashy as some, but again, once he started it, he's not going to stop it. So just understand that too. People may move at different paces, people may get things done in different ways, but at the same time,
I usually go in like bursts. Like I'll sit around for a minute, I'll kind of be a little slower on certain things, and then I don't know, out of nowhere I'm like, all right, I'm doing everything right now.
Yes, that's so funny. That's a name of a book that I want to write. I've actually started writing it. It's called Everything Now, and it talks about how in life, like, everyone's always like, well, you don't want to take on too much. If you're trying to hold a bunch of stuff, you're going to drop things. You got to focus on one thing. And it's like, yeah, that'd be cool if you could focus on one thing, but that's not how life works. Like,
there's a lot of different things that are going on all the time.
It's everything now. Yeah. So maybe we can maybe I can change how I'm writing that book, and maybe we can start doing like a collab on that. And it's just a few minutes a day, boom, 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 kind of feeling out. And, right now I have the chapters laid out, and we can, because I think that's going to be one of the biggest things, is if we can help people break through the mental aspects and the emotional aspects of this process of starting a business or a podcast or whatever it is, going really, after your dream.
The hardest part is the mental aspect and not quitting.
Yeah. Big time.
That's actually the biggest part, is just not stopping no matter what.
Yeah. And you can tire yourself out and get exhausted if you always have an option of quitting. Like, I make it to where, like, think about it like burning your boats. If you're going to go attack a island or another country, and you sail over there with your army, it's easy for your army to retreat back to the boats and sail away if things aren't going well in battle. Right. And I can't remember the exact story. Maybe I'll link it and put the information in here. But there was a certain general who, once he got to this place, he instructed his soldiers to burn the boats. And he told them, there is no surrender, there is no retreat, burn the boats. And they won that battle because there was no other option.
Die.
Yeah. It was like, this is it. So
yeah, I mean, you either kill them or you get killed.
Yep.
From that point.
Yeah. So find a way to burn your boat. Find a way to, when you decide to do something, find a way to do it all the way through, and not have a backup plan of failure, or it's not going to work out.
Right.
And then remember, sometimes when you start something, it is going to take a lot longer to see results, but don't beat yourself up. Just stay steady with it. Try to put the stamp of Tristan on it.
When I started doing all this editing stuff, it was so confusing to me. I didn't know what the hell I was looking at, but I just started clicking buttons and I figured it out.
I don't even know. I'm so upset because I watched YouTube videos. I had this guy who
and it's not like I'm doing any crazy like videos or anything, but
yeah, we're actually in two different places. I'm just
kidding. Super simple video editing, but it's still like confusing to understand. I don't know.
Yeah, if you ever look at the Adobe editing platform Studio, it's like,
yeah, if you've never seen it before, when you open it up, it's like, whoa.
Yeah.
What what did all this do?
Yeah. And I never was able to figure it out. That's why I'm like aggravated, because I had to go to like Adobe Rush and do like really simple editing, like TikTok, you know.
And I tried to do Rush. It was just too limited on like what I could actually do with it. So I don't know. It just was a blocker, I guess.
That's awesome. But yeah, so it sounds like he's experimenting with intros and outros too. So like maybe when we're talking and being like, hey, this is the episode today, you guys will see like pictures come in of us or different videos or different screenshots, you know, depending on how he plays with it. But
either I do it or I don't. I don't know. Maybe it looks like shit and I don't want to, but.
Dude, I made like 5 intros and outros before I used any. And then every single one I would use after like a month. I'd be like, I hate this. And then I had one that I really loved. I used for like 3 months, and it said countries instead of countries.
Yeah.
CONTRIES instead of COUN. I was like, and one day I saw it when I was like, because I would have it to where I could like see my intro play, so I would know how long it would be, so I could just go in, because I would talk during it, and I saw it say CONTRIES for countries, and I was like, but yeah, it either way. I mean, I think we're dialing in like never before. I think every time I say that, I know it's like, but it just keeps getting better and better, you know? And now the packs are on their way.
That's what I'm waiting for. I just want to get them to you people.
Hey, we started it. We're going to finish it. We're going to get those packs out. Thank you to all of our pre-orders. If you haven't yet, go to doggonpacks.com, join the pack. You're going to want to be in the loop. You're going to want to be in the pack so that you can get updates on everything new that's coming out. So check it out.
See you later.
Among Us.